Hi, folks, and welcome to Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. This is your wonderful co host, Mark, and I am joined by the sensual
Mm.
co host, Harry.
Hello.
We are two idiots who love talking about things we have no idea what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Boy, do I not know anything. I'm not even joking either. Folks, we've missed you, as always. And you know what? I wish we could say that our weeks have been super eventful, but you know what? That's just life, baby.
That's just life.
They have been the same amount of eventful. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
you know Harry,
I do.
just exploring the rest of the oceans, the deepest portions, finding fucking lost Aztec gold,
Absolutely.
watching really shitty post 2000 rom-coms, just really living it up. No, fucking jokes aside. Harry, how was your week? How are
Um,
your fucking last, like, 3 weeks?
I've been off the air for a while. um,
Fuck yeah.
Uneventful, just busy with work. I've had a call off the on-call, or sorry, I've had a call off the podcast personally because I've had the on-call at work, and I had to start stupid early on our usual days. Um, so I just was like, ugh. But things are cooling down. People are actually coming back to
Mm.
work now. Um, so I don't
Mm.
have to have the on call, for a month straight. I actually get some time off. I haven't. So last week, I didn't have the on call. This week, I don't have the on call, and next week, I don't have the on call. So it's beautiful. I actually got 3 weeks off from the on call. So
Off call, you could
yeah,
say.
it's kind of going back to where I used to have a month off and then have the on call for a week. But yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. I was making a lot of money when I was with the on call because
Not
I was
anymore, get fucked.
yeah, I'm going back to my regular pay. But that's fine. More time to
You know what you
be
could
at
do?
home. Huh.
You could ask for a raise.
That's definitely gonna happen for next year because I'm just gonna be like, do you remember who was around the summer of 2022? Do you remember who held the on call for basically a month?
I don't know, employers have really bad memories when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I know. I'll make my point though.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, so it's just been really hectic at work. We've watched a lot of movies. You and I.
Fuck. We
Um,
have been doing a more consistent hangout and chat watch company enjoying of shows and movies,
mhm,
and it's been really enjoyable.
with our beautiful ladies joining us.
Fuck yeah. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
been really nice. A nice substitute to this.
Yes.
Because you
Um.
know how it is. The pandemic came along, and just
Mm-hmm.
before that, we started this just for fun, and then the pandemic kind of became like the thing that we used this to make sure the pandemic didn't just like steamroll our relationship. And then
Exactly.
fucking now we're actually getting some time in to like actually hang out for a consistently decent amount of time,
Yep.
and that's good.
It is. I agree.
Fuck
And
yeah.
yeah, so just yeah, hanging out and going to work. Other than that, it's been pretty mellow. Again, on call and stuff like that. So um, that's it for me. How about you? How
Dude.
has your weeks were freaking
Rick
weeks
Nick.
been?
It has been fine.
Okay.
I haven't really been doing all that much either. Same with you. I've
Yeah.
been mainly doing some housekeeping stuff, some easy shifts, just making a little bit of cash to stay afloat. That's about it. Um,
Uh,
but but I have
Butts.
been super excited because for super, super fucking cheap, I have
Mm-hmm.
purchased
Oh.
the not first two, but I've purchased Splinter Cell 1
Mm.
and then Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which one's that one?
Um, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, I believe, is the third
Okay.
console game in its line. I
Okay.
think came out in 2004, 2005. No, 2004, I think. Um, yeah, Splinter Cell franchise. Uh, I almost said Clive Cussler. God, what is his name? Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Yes.
Popular stealth action game. Uh, that was really focused in its first couple of
Mm.
iterations on being like good stealth.
Mm.
Uh, actually haven't played them, so I'm armchair critiquing. So yeah.
Mm.
Uh, but I do think it's pretty obvious that there was like a really strong shift in
Yeah.
like priorities once Splinter Cell mm, Double Agent and Splinter Cell Conviction came about.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell Conviction started to take more of like a uh, an adventure-y kind of vibe,
Oh, okay.
far less about you know stealth as a whole. You're
Like,
just this fucking insane killing machine, even if you get caught. Besides the
oh,
point. Again, armchair video game critic.
right, right.
I'm super excited to play them because I fucking have always wanted to, and I never really got the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Bought them for super fucking cheap on Steam, so I'm really excited.
Mm.
And funny enough, the
Mm-hmm.
only reason that you can't play Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow, which is the second game in the franchise,
Yeah.
it's not available on Steam,
Oh.
is because of certain like lighting qualities or there's
What?
like some technical yeah, apparent I honestly don't know if it's officially what's wrong, but apparently there's some kind of technical issue regarding like the lighting or the shadowing or the I don't know, not god rays, but like volume
Okay.
uh that won't allow it to properly be played. Yeah,
Weird.
weird stuff. Like you could play it on the fucking Xbox or the PlayStation, whatever original console it came out on. But like you just can't. It apparently needs some work, and I don't know what the fuck they would need to do to fix that because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just excited about that
Okay.
because, as you know, as everyone else here knows, I'm a big immersive sim fan.
Yeah.
Oh, Prey, Deathloop, oh, fucking
Mm-hmm.
Redfall, Vamp- There is an indie developer who is developing a game called can't remember.
Oh,
Um, I know. I know. Fuck, I really can't remember. Oh well. I was
dude,
gonna try to plug
I
in with all -1 people, but whatever.
I literally thought you meant the name was called Can't Remember.
Now that would be good. That would be good.
Oh, I was
Let's see.
literally looking it up on Google right now. Like, oh, that's an interesting name for a game.
Shadows of Doubt.
Shadows, close enough.
Now, I have to put a bunch of little asterisks on this.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate Minecraft pixelated style games
Mm-hmm.
visually. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. I understand the value in making sure that a game does not have to look like photorealistic.
Right.
Artistically styled games are always going to be more noteworthy and more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Having said that, my personal preference is that if like blocky animation was a person,
Mm-hmm.
it accidentally fell down a flight of stairs. Uh, now that I got that bullshit out of the way, Shadows of Doubt is a first-person detective stealth game. I'm reading the Steam thingy.
Mm.
Set in a fully simulated sci-fi noir city. There's a serial killer on the loose, and it's up to you to catch them by any means necessary. Sneak, tail, hide, hack, and lockpick. Just keep a low profile. So
Ooh.
you're put around a city, uh, the size of which I'm not entirely sure yet because there's no like demo or availability
Right.
to like see what actually is. Um, but one of the things that's actually really interesting uh, is that people have schedules. There's pretty much like you can monitor anyone that you want, and you can go inside pretty much every single building and every single room if you can find like the keys or like an air duct or a way to enter it without people knowing. So like this is like the bread and butter of an immersive sim, right? Like, oh, do this thing. We don't care how you do it, just do it. Oh, fucking let me pick up a crate and put it like next to this fence because I can't jump the fence, but I can jump on the crate and I can jump on the fence and now I can get over here. Or oh hey, I'll talk to the bellboy and he'll be like, ah, the fucking someone stole my key. You get the idea, right?
Yes.
So I really love the idea. I'm hoping that the city isn't too big that you just like lose all sense of direction. But you
Right.
play as an investigator or a detective, of course, trying to find a serial killer, which is really cool. This is a premise in an immersive sim that isn't really explored. Um, Usually, it's some kind of science fiction or fantasy aspect, uh, but the idea of taking your immersive sim, play your way qualities and applying it to like a serial killer detective sleuthing game is actually a concept that I'm really interested in because it feels new and it feels exciting for the genre.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm interested. Um, Again, block animation person fall downstairs,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
it looks really fun. I know it probably isn't that fun for the majority of the planet. But immersive sims for me, like I have always mentioned, have always provided me with this sense of freedom
Hmm.
in a way that like I just don't feel in other games. Like,
Okay.
oh hey, fucking you can explore this however you want, or you could break into this place however you want, or like you could fucking like with this, you could just fucking tail someone.
Yeah.
You like track them, you could find the key to their apartment, like track them down. Like this is the kind of shit that like immersive sims were like supposed to do, not the creepy tracking people down bit, but like the idea of like playing your way or like using your own capabilities to figure out solutions to issues. So
Right.
yeah, super interested in that. And then yeah, I've just been excited. I'm trying to get through some of the games on my list. So yeah, I still am trying to get through Hades. I
Right.
did
Right.
take a bit of a break because that shit takes hours. Ugh,
Right.
but it's still super fucking
So,
fun. Let's see.
I have something I completely forgot to talk about,
Oh, what the
and
fuck,
I
Harry?
think I feel like I tried to like black it out of my head. Is that how it's pronounced? Black it out? No, there's a
Yeah,
term
that's
for it.
fine.
Okay. You know what I mean.
I know
S-
what you mean.
yeah. So you know how Yvette and I are playing hardcore characters in Diablo 2, right?
Oh, your fucking character died.
Yeah.
I blocked
um.
that out too.
Yeah. For those of you who are listening don't know, Diablo 2 is a game that came out in the year 2000. And I was playing as a kid, and Yvette played as a kid, and they recently came out with it, basically a remastered version of it. Um, and we've been playing a bunch of it, and you. I also love trophies on the PlayStation 4. So what they
Fucking
did,
achievement hunting ass
yeah.
motherfucker.
So what they did was you're able to play your character between your computer and your consoles if you want, because you have to log into your account, which is a Blizzard account, so you can play the same character between console and whatever. Um, and I was like, oh shit! So let me just get all the trophies for Diablo for the I'll play it online with my friends on the computer, and then I'll just shift over to my PlayStation to get the trophies later.
Mm.
I know it's working fine. I've done it with a few trophies that are uh you know whatever, and then so there's one trophy that's like the hardest to get, which is get a hardcore character up to level 99.
Oh God, how close did you get?
So Aved and I were level 78. But
Oh,
Aved made a good point. He was like, all the progress we made right now, with our characters that died, that isn't even halfway of what it would have took to gotten to level 99. So half or the cup half full is that we weren't even halfway there. But yes, we were. We spent months playing these characters, and I was like,
my poor
yeah,
baby.
yeah. So the way it happened was, um, I play a necromancer. I have a lot of skeletons who do the damage for. Well, they don't really do a lot of damage at the higher tiers, but they do damage for me, and their main thing is being bodies. They block enemies from attacking me because my frail body is
Your
very frail.
frail nerd fucking necro body. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
fucking nerd.
And so Yvette's character is a lot more tankier, so they can take more damage, and they're also really fast. Right. That's the one thing that annoys me is Yvette's like super far ahead of me, and I'm just like waddling my way over to him. Um,
It's a popular misconception, but tanks are actually pretty fast.
and so we were in a room, and I was there hanging out with my skeletons, and Yvette does his thing where he runs ahead, and all I hear is, Harry, I need your bodies, I need your bodies, I need your bodies. And I'm like, what? And I see his character just bolt past me. And I was like, and right behind him, I see like these enemies who have the abilities of super fast, which is they move as fast or faster than Aved's character. And again, remember, I'm really slow compared to Aved. So I have no chance to run away. And my skeletons were on the other, like, there was nothing between those enemies and me. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, fuck, my skeletons are in the opposite direction of these
Wrong
guys.
place.
So I was like, I need to like get like behind them. Unlucky for me, there's fucking objects like in the way.
Yeah.
And so when I try to run away, I'm like, oh no. And I get stuck and I get hit and my health goes from 100% to 10. And I was like, oh no. And I keep trying to move and then boom, dead.
Nice.
And so at this point, Aved just rage quits. He just leaves the game and is like, well, Harry's dead. And
I can hear it too.
yeah, and we're just quiet. We're quiet for like at least 30 seconds. We didn't say
Yeah, I
anything.
can. I can. I can hear the silence.
Yeah, and finally when we start talking, we're like, okay, well, uh, let's start it up. Let's start a new character. And um,
Oh God, did he really agree to that?
so Eved's like, no, Eved was telling me, he's like, well, let's start a new character. He's like, I still have my
Oh,
character. I'm just gonna power level you through. I'm just gonna run around, kill everything around us, and you're just gonna level up, right? I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Let's do that. So we're kind of debating what my next character is gonna be, and we decided, okay, let's make you Paladin Harry because he gets like he's just a tank, and he gets like natural resistances. So I was like, that makes sense, just to make sure I don't die again. and
You
so
righteous fucking.
um and so I make a game and I'm like, all right, dude, hop in. And he tries to hop in and it says, you can't play with dead characters. And then it's like, well, my character's not dead. It's obviously sitting right here. Because when your character dies in hardcore, two things happen. One, all the loot that your character had just disappears. So it's just like a ghost of your character of like
Yeah.
plain, like if you had no gear on.
Mm.
So Veds didn't have that. He had all his gear on. Two, on the top right of like the name of the character, there's a skull. If your character's dead, it's red. If your character's alive, it's yellow. Mine was red, his was yellow. We're like, okay, so your character should still be alive because the game says it's still alive, but you can't join my game because it says it's dead. So Ved's like, okay, well, let me restart my game and we'll see what happens. And he restarts his
What'd you
game
say?
and yep, it's dead. So what happened was, um, even though he rage quit, he left the game. The server does not kick you out of the game right away. So when he rage quit, his character literally just sat there and did nothing while the enemies that killed me went and killed him.
Get fucking wrecked.
So both of our level 78 characters are dead. So yeah, we had to restart. Um and yeah, that
Get fucking wrecked, Harry.
that happened just last night.
I love
And
you, but get wrecked.
yeah, no, I that was a heartbreak. But
So good.
the upside is, thankfully, for this remastered version, we have what is called a stash. And there
Oh,
is the
okay. So not a
personal
complete loss.
yeah, so there's a personal stash and a shared stash, and we purposely left things in the shared stash just in case our characters died. Even though we're not aiming for our characters to ever die, there's no guarantee that they won't die. So let's put all our valuables in the shared stashes. So basically, I had my 3 slots of shared stashes, and he had his shared stashes, and we had stuff to get us going. So we're fine. We're gonna be okay. It's just, it's gonna
A
just,
setback.
it's a setback of us starting all over again. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we just gotta deal with that. The upside, another upside is, we're gonna have another one of our friends, Taylor, joining us on our hardcore crusade. So it does make the enemies stronger, but it's also a better chance for us. One, we gain more experience per player that's playing with us. Two, um, if we just support each other, we'll be fine. So that's
Get fucked.
yes, exactly. Um, yeah, that's I forgot to bring that up. I just remembered right now. I was like, oh hey, my character died.
Do you need a hug,
Um,
my poor baby?
no, I just gotta
I got
suffer.
you. I'm here.
I know you got me. I'm just
I'm
gonna need to
here.
suffer, quiet, alone, in the dark, in the corner. Um,
Poor thing.
so we have a lot of movies to talk about
Fuck yeah.
that we've watched and that you're bringing up that we want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with the canceled one first.
Okay, so I don't know too much about this other than just the skimming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but WB has apparently shelved the Batwoman,
Batgirl, right?
Batgirl. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Uh, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, so I see
It's a
who was supposed.
2022 film.
Yeah, I see who was supposed to be in it. J.K. Simmons is supposed to be Commissioner
So,
Gordon.
hmm
It's nice.
so what's going on is that, let's see, Warner Brothers has decided to scrap the film entirely. They've
Mm,
decided that it would probably be more. No, apparently one of the things I've read is that they've decided that it would be more cost effective to just shelve the film. I don't know how that would work.
mm,
Um, but I could probably try researching it if anyone wanted me to. Um, so that's not the kicker. You know what the kicker is, Harry?
mm.
The kicker is that the movie is complete.
Oh,
Right. The movie is fucking done.
but they decided
So,
to just not.
yep.
Huh.
Yeah. Little weird. Little weird. Little weird.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know why. I could probably read up, which is what I should have done. um, but the movie just apparently is not going to be released. It has been held indefinitely.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting is that apparently I don't know if these are rumors. I should probably make sure that they're not rumors before I say anything. Um, let me check. I don't know how valid these articles are at the moment, but
Mm-hmm.
as we all know, uh, the perks of being a wallflower, Ezra Miller, uh, has been a little crazy lately. They have assaulted several people at different times, and now they have, I think they did something with kidnapping and like fleeing and just overall weird shit. But everyone's like, why the fuck isn't the Flash movie getting fucking shelved and fucking
Yeah.
Batgirl getting in, getting whatever. And it's even more weird because some of the articles that I'm reading are suggesting that fucking Ezra Miller actually participated in some reshoots of the
Okay.
movie after the whole like he's being a weirdo thing. So it was like, hey, they're being a fucking weirdo. Maybe we shouldn't include them in the DCU anymore. To, hey, they did something really fucking crazy. Let's scrap them entirely from the DCU. And now, apparently, he was available for reshoots with Warner Brothers okaying
Mm.
this, which is weird. A little weird.
Yeah.
A little weird. I don't
Mm.
know what's going on over there with Warner Brothers. A little weird. Little weird.
Okay, and that's probably why they thought they should shelf it, huh?
I
But
hope not. I don't know
yeah,
why fucking The Flash wasn't shelved then instead of Batgirl, because
right.
fucking Flash isn't in Batgirl.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That
don't
is
know.
really
It
weird,
just seems
dude.
weird.
And there's fucking Michael Keaton was supposed to be Batman in this, and fucking
Mhm.
Brendan Fraser was supposed to be in this.
Right?
Holy
He was going to be
shit,
fucking,
dude!
yeah, yeah,
Like,
right?
this is
I don't
fucking
care what
awesome.
size Brendan Fraser is. I love Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, dude, Brendan Fraser's the shit. Fucking
Brendan Fraser could be a fucking green cube from D&D and I would still fucking watch him.
absolutely.
Anywho,
I don't know.
fucking it's just crazy shit. I'll try looking it up and
That's
explaining some fucking shit for it next week.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's DC. I mean, you and I have sat down and talked about it, and DC just seems to, kind of shoot themselves in the foot. They love doing
I
that.
mean, I like DC. Like I
Oh, I
like some of the
agree.
choices that they've made where it's like, hey, like let's give our filmmakers like an inch.
Mhm.
of freedom and, like, look at the shit that they come back with,
Yeah.
and they're none of them are connected. None of them are fucking connected. I can't put on a chalkboard with a red string the
Yeah.
connections, how these fucking movies work.
Mhm.
But they're still more enjoyable, I think, all around and more distinct than some of the Marvel movies with their like grand overarching fucking phase 69 420 plot.
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with you with that.
Like,
Um,
don't get me wrong, I don't think they're amazing by any stretch, but it's like
mm,
it's just whenever you and I talk about a DC film, if it's enjoyable, it's mainly because it's just distinct from Marvel,
yeah.
right? I'm not really here to be like a campus guy. I know I spent like a good portion saying, "Oh, this fucking sucks," but like Marvel is doing like the star power with like recognizable people, where
Yes.
DC is doing just like, "Hey, let's throw anything to the wall at the moment."
Yeah. Like and, and the thing is DC has so many great characters. And
Yes.
I think they did a fantastic job of casting. I mean, I think that's one thing they do well. I think like other than, the guy who plays the Flash, but like also think he did a great job acting as Barry Allen. Um
Yeah.
so it's like I think they do that well. It's just it seems like I don't know. It's just they just can't hit the mark as well as
Hmm.
Marvel has. I mean, of course, Marvel has been doing it, you know, well for a long time now. Um, it's just, yeah, I don't know. Because like I see some stuff that like you know, it's side character kind of like in Marvel where there's like side characters that like have great stories and like DC has the same way. Um, it's just they're not hitting the mark with it.
And it's okay. Like, they're not hitting the mark with Harry and Mark in
Yeah.
it. No, okay. If by hitting the mark, like copying the Marvel formula, yeah, no, like the whole oh, fucking Jason Momoa has to learn about being a good person at the end of it. They fucking tease Manta Ray for the
Hmm.
next movie, whatever. No, that isn't really working. But they are just putting out like genuinely, I think, better content. Like if you're the person who's like franchise via franchise by franchise, yeah, like whatever. It's Marvel has like a fucking technically a 10-year head start. They have this overarching thing. They have shows. They have fucking uh, the actors for it. Like whatever. I do think on like a movie by movie basis, they just
Mm,
don't quite feel as tired as the Marvel movies do.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I fucking was bitching to the ends of the earth about fucking the Suicide Squad and just like they literally got James Gunn, the disgruntled guy from fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, to
Yeah.
come in, briefly pop in and make fucking the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker, and then just come back and make his last fucking Guardians of the Galaxy movie and then just fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
like come on now. That's
Yeah.
what I partially mean too, is that like James Gunn is a phenomenal, like, or I don't know, I really like him as a filmmaker.
Mhm.
He's a solid writer. Uh, and if anyone would replace Joss fucking problematic Whedon in rebooting fucking Firefly, I would want James Gunn to do it. But whatever. Uh, he's one of the more distinct filmmakers, and
Yeah.
it's just interesting how enjoyable Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is, and 2 is better, like in a lot of ways, but just kind of looks and feels, I think, a little tired still, even for like
Hmm.
2016, 17, whenever it came out.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does fucking Suicide Squad, and it just has more like energy to it, right?
Yes.
Like it feels a little funner. Granted, he's not trying to make Suicide Squad feel like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to, be about breaking down your like trauma and whatnot.
Hmm.
And the Suicide Squad isn't completely about that. It's trying to have a little more fun. But like, come on.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Anyway,
Um,
anyway.
going past that, getting away from the superhero world, um, you and I watched the movie Nope. Um,
Yes.
I I found it entertaining. I thought it was good. It had that twist in the end for me because I did not think it was a flying monster. I thought it was like, oh yeah, it's a UFO. Yep.
Fucking spoil it, Yuri.
Yeah. um, and I thought that was really cool because like that's what I always thought it was. Like, oh yeah, it's a UFO. Like the way they made it move, and like
Hmm.
the, like electricity going out, all that stuff. They
Yeah.
I think they did a good job of like showing that it's like, oh yeah, it's totally like a UFO, and then like it's not. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, that's crazy, and I thought that
Oh
was
yeah.
really good. I found it like the trailers did kind of similar to like what it reminded, and it's not exactly, but it reminded me of like how Dune, how the way the trailer was, it's just like you go in expecting this one thing and you go in, you're like, oh, actually it's not that
Oh
at all.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I thought they did a good job with the trailers and stuff. So
Good.
yeah, how about yourself? What do you think about it?
I really liked it.
Mm,
I had a lot of fun with it
mm,
in a way that I didn't quite expect to. I like I like Jordan Peele. I personally like Us more than Get Out,
mm-hmm,
and I like this a little bit more than Us personally.
mm,
That's just like a comfort, like a statement based on my comfort.
yeah,
It's a comfy movie.
yeah.
Uh, Hold on, let me get to the point real quick.
Mm.
Um, Harry, would you like to continue your review before I fucking
Nope,
monologue?
that was it. I
Okay.
don't have long reviews.
I still like them. You still put in your opinions, and I always appreciate it.
Thank you.
Um, Nope. Nope is a 2022 film, I think.
Yes.
um, by Jordan Peterson, Jesus Christ, Jordan Peele,
Mhm.
starring Kiki Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, God, what's his name? Stephen
Uh,
Ewan?
Stephen
Ewan?
Hune, yeah.
Yeah. Let me pull this up then, just so I don't
So
fuck up anyone else's names. Then
KK
there's
Palm, you said KK Palmer, right?
Kiki Palmer, Daniel
Uh,
Kaluuya,
mm,
Stephen Yoon, or
yep.
Stephen Yoon, Daniel Perea,
Brandon
and
Perea.
then Michael Wincott. And then everyone
Yeah.
else is kind of like, hey, let's give everyone else kind of a cameo and whatnot. Um,
Yes.
it follows a family of black horse trainers for movie pictures, uh, trying to capture footage, legitimate money making Oprah fucking slot time and footage of a UFO. Uh, I won't get into the whole plot. Fucking Harry spoiled it already. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Let's see. Acting is top notch as always.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking at the end of the movie, I looked over at Stace and I was like, "Damn, Kiki Palmer's really fucking good in this. I'm really glad she's in this and I get to like see her performance instead of Buzz Lightyear, which she's also in.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that until fucking Stace told me after fucking Buzz Lightyear. But I didn't
Oh.
even fucking realize apparently she's a fucking child actor. I think with
Oh.
Nickelodeon or something. So fucking good for her for being in like a really awesome fucking movie and being such a great fucking actor already. Fucking huh? Huh?
Yeah.
Um fucking Daniel Kaluuya right off the bat. Let's see. I think he is so fucking good in this. Um I think he's fairly distinct with who he was trying to play. No, with who he was playing in Get Out. Like this very
Mm.
insecure character who's got this like baggage on him, and he's got some of these like very fun, nervous ticks, and it's really fun when uh, the camera kind of zeroes in on him, and he's like he does his best to be really uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Um, and in this, I really get the sense that he's playing like a literal cowboy. Like he's obviously like a horse trainer. He lives on a ranch basically in the middle of fucking nowhere, California. But like his demeanor is that of like a of like an old west cowboy.
Yeah.
Like stoic, gruff, uh like very sure shot. And he does this all without being kind of like a caricature of it.
Uh-huh.
He embodies the idea of like a cowboy, the black jockey, right, in the 2-second video, right?
Mhm.
Than than like than mocking the concept of the cowboy. Like he does a really good job with this like solemn, very quiet. And that's another thing that I'll jump into later before I fucking lose my train of thought. Um yeah, he's really great. Stephen Ewan, I never followed in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But I mean, before he got his fucking brains bashed in, spoiler alert, I think
Mm.
he was probably shooing to be my favorite character from what I had seen of like the first 2 seasons.
Mhm.
He's good in it. Um, he plays this character who goes through this tremendous trauma, being a young child actor on the set of a popular show that involves uh, a gone bad monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays a character who goes through this trauma and is still kind of willing to perpetuate that same problem, right? Like the
Yes.
beginning of the movie is like you can't control an animal.
Mhm.
Like an animal's an animal, and you have all the set dressing around it, Gertie, or whatever his name is in the show. And once a fucking balloon goes off, he just snaps, right?
Yep.
But he does the same thing in real life, where it's like, oh, he just accidentally stumbles upon this thing and just starts feeding it horses, thinking like, or what he does, I think, genuinely think is that they're what he calls them the viewers. He thinks that they're actually aliens who he's built a rapport with, kind
Yeah.
of like how the show built one with Gertie.
Mhm.
And that has some tremendous consequences to him in the later portion.
Yeah.
Brandon Perea plays Angel, who I have never seen before, and I love him in this.
Yeah.
Uh, he kind of plays like this dweeb, right? Like
Yes.
he works at Fry's. He's just gone through a breakup, uh, and what is it? The CW. She got a part on the CW. Man, fuck the CW.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff. He's the kind of like the I don't want to say the heart and soul. He's like I don't want to say either the comic relief, but he's like the gadget guy. He's the Donatello of the group.
Mhm.
And then there's Michael Wincott, and he's a veteran actor. He's been around for years. He plays Antler Holst. Uh, he's this auteur, I would imagine he likens himself, who makes the impossible possible, as Keke Palmer's character would say.
Mhm.
And he wants the perfect shot, and the perfect shot just happens to involve getting footage of an alien. Um, where do I want to fucking begin with this? One, I kind of love the allusions to Hollywood, like CW, and how some of the behind the scenes stuff works. I'm sure it's all kind of like a parody of it, right?
Yeah.
uh they have the sensitivity guy in the background, and some of the acting is a little you know uh jilted. I think it's meant to make you a little uncomfortable. um just the overall attitude behind the set feels very interesting. um what else? Oh, I noticed this when I first saw Us.
Okay.
uh Jordan Peele has a really good sense of like hearing, or has a good sense of like sound. I don't want to say hearing. um That's one of the things that I genuinely love about some of his work.
Mhm.
There's a really great bit in the beginning of Us when the main character is going into the wizard funhouse thing, and
Okay.
it's raining, and
Okay.
the only real sound that's going on is the rain that keeps hitting the top of the funhouse, and it creates this like contained set feeling, which is very powerful, very suspenseful. Um, And the same thing goes on with this, but with so many other sounds. Uh, let's start with our other main character, the uh, the creature. We
Okay.
learn that the UFO is not just a UFO. It's like a weird butterfly octopus kite creature, and it takes the form of this UFO, I don't know, for whatever reason. Maybe that's its generic form.
Yeah.
And later on, at the end of the movie, it tends to like bubble up. And my theory on that is that it's like a cobra or like a
Mhm.
butterfly. It's extending its wings so that you can see it's the predator, or the eyes of like its predator, or it's puffing its neck thing out to intimidate. Um, Not that being a giant fucking flying saucer wouldn't be intimidating, but the idea behind it is that it uses some kind of electromagnetism to fly, which pretty much shorts out all devices in a very close proximity to it. Um, and it moves with like this just beautiful grace. But what I think really sells it is the sound. Like, it's a gorgeous thing to watch. It's fun watching Daniel Kaluuya just fucking bolt on a horse away from it. But what's really gorgeous and horrifying at the same time is hearing it flying, and you'll hear like this deep clicking. It's not even like a
Mhm.
clicking, it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like a knuckle cracking, and it does
Yeah.
that like a couple times. And I can't. It's probably like an intimidation technique or something, whatever. But another thing that it'll do is the UFO, or the beast, the thing, sucks things up. It's a saucer essentially, with like a as Stephen Yoon describes it, a two bus length mouth at the bottom, and it sucks shit up, and it predominantly eats horses. Although midway through the movie, it eats a shitload of human beings. Um, in the beginning of the movie and in the early middle, it flies over people, and you can hear like a whistled screaming, and you can't quite tell what it is. It could just be it going through the sky at super fast speeds, or a sound it makes. And you're not quite sure what it is until midway through the movie, when it fucking sucks the shit out of a bunch of like bystanders, and you realize that the sound it's making is just the sound of any organism, like living thing, stuck inside of its mouth
Mhm.
before it's being eaten. So like, it picks up one of the horses in the early in the movie, and you can hear like what sounds almost like whinnying or neighing, but it sounds vaguely like what you could mistake as like it's soaring through the air, right?
Yeah.
But when it starts flying over people and you realize that some of these people are in its mouth and the screaming sound is going on, that shit is horrifying. And
Mhm.
then not only that, but as another intimidation tool, it like essentially shits on the house. um,
Yeah.
it goes to the house. What Daniel Kaluuya, his character OJ, believes is that because Stephen Yoon accidentally drew the creature in and has been consistently feeding it, the beast thinks, or the creature thinks, that this territory is his. It's its.
Mhm.
Um, and it is doing intimidation threats against OJ and his family in the house to get them off the property, or to just like a predator stalking its prey in its
Yeah.
own territory, right? So what I can only surmise is it's shitting on the house to get them to leave. You hear the sound of everyone screaming, and you know everyone's still in there because a couple scenes prior, you actually see what it's like when these people are sucked up into this thing. And they're still screaming, screaming, screaming until all of a sudden you hear like what I can only imagine is like a Titanic sized muscle flexing, and then you hear a crunch and everything stops. And then the blood just trickles from the mouth of this thing onto the house. And that is some of the fucking most psychotic sound design I can think of. Like that, you know, normally you'd be like, "Oh, that looks cool." The way they designed it looks cool because it's just flying through the air so gorgeously and yada yada. And that's all true too. But how we hear how the thing moves, how it eats, the effect it has on the people that it's eating is horrifying. And it builds this extra layer of terror because it's literally just a saucer. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is frightening about a saucer until you get like up in its guts and you realize that how it can kind of kill people,
Yeah.
and that shit's frightening.
Mhm.
So yeah, hats off to that. That shit was fucking frightening. Um, Another bit that I really liked is single location, pretty much.
Yes.
I think that's one of the reasons he's able to get away with like these great fucking movies is that like he just shoots in one location. With Get Out, it was one main location, and with this, it's one main location. With Us, he actually did the Santa Cruz kind of location. Uh, it wasn't quite so much one building. It was still really good though. But I think in terms of his suspense, the single location claustrophobic kind of feel in some portions is very powerful. And then, you know, it's just this beautiful, absolutely beautiful like ridge
Mhm.
that has this like house nestled in kind of at the neck of it, and then it just kind of opens up with this one road, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love that they stay in this location, um, because there's some great, absolutely great, like aerial tracking shots, just doing God's work at making this place look absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
Um, there's one scene in the entire movie that I absolutely loved. It's after the blood shitting moment when they're kind of just chilling underneath it. They
Mhm.
find out that looking directly up at it is kind of like a territorial display, and they decide not to. So Daniel Kaluuya's character OJ falls asleep in one of the other cars. He decides to sneak into one of uh, the other remaining cars that's operable to get everyone out and drive off. And It's after nighttime, and it's after this weird fucking rain, shit, blood rain, and he walks from left to right onto the scene with the house silhouette and like just the faintest rising sun providing any light on this like smoke background, which I mean just looks gorgeous. It's like the most beautiful scene in the fucking movie. This black and white almost silhouette of a house and the guy just kind of rising up from the car to look at it. It invokes almost Steven Spielberg, but like I can't tell you how much more enjoyable it is than Steven Spielberg at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's so much shit. Like there's some fucking Shyamalan in there, but he's better than Shyamalan. There's some fucking Spielberg. There's some Western. Like the ending bit where Kaluuya is like fucking riding away from the beast, and you
Yeah.
hear like a weird kind of remix of like a Western song is so fucking great. And I'm like, wow, that like there's like so many like multiple homages going on at the same time, and they're all kind of better than what came before. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, uh, fucking Nope. I recommend it. Anyone go catch. There's some fucking. I'm sorry. There's a bunch of subtext in there. Pursuing one's art. There's a bit of Moby Dick in there too. There's also an interesting kind of discussion on like weaponizing tragedy and animal abuse. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
interesting topics. I would have was actually kind of impressed that he went in that direction. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, fucking Nope. That's a yep. Go see that.
Sick.
Fuck yeah.
The other movie we watched, Prey. Um,
Yes.
I really like this one too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was one of the first things I asked you, was if they casted nothing but Native Americans in the for those roles, and your ans- the answer is yes, which I still think really fucking cool. Um, Still confused that there's no theater release, but
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I mean
It
that
does
is
have one of the the highest viewerships on Hulu, but I mean it's
yeah,
like it's a subscription service, so I don't really know how valid that is. But
right.
yeah, Prey was only being released on Hulu, which
Mm-hmm.
mm, it's still getting some heat, but still uh, weird, weird policy.
To know this isn't the only movie that's been released through streaming only. I mean, we were just talking
Right.
not too long about The Irishman. That was a Netflix release only. So
Yep.
it's not the first. I guess it's just maybe I don't know. The Irishman was pretty big. I just feel like maybe
But
go ahead.
was The Irishman in theaters? Yes.
It was.
Yes, I believe it did.
Oh, we gotta fact check this shit.
It did have
Was
a limited run, but
Irishman?
it was not solely released on Netflix. Fucking 3.5 hours, Jesus.
Says September 27th, 2019. Uh, yeah, so it did get a small release, and then it was released into the Netflix.
Okay. If that's fair, I don't think we should count it then. So no, I don't.
No,
So
I don't. So
The Irishman
does
wasn't
not
released
count.
then either. Yeah.
Um. So yeah. So it's still probably the biggest blockbuster movie. Um. Just because of the brand, right?
Hmm.
Predator. Um. That it's one of those that you're like, this wasn't released on the theaters. Like,
To be fair, I wonder if after the 2018 film, people thought, or execs probably thought it would have underperformed. So they're
mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
hey, like let's put a bit of money into it, but like let's not go too crazy with it. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Having said that, I really don't know what the choices were, what the decisions were, what the rationale behind that was at
Mm-hmm.
all. So, but Harry,
Yes.
what was your opinion of Prey?
My opinion of Prey was that I thought it was a really good movie. Um,
Huh.
I, I like, there's some questionable stuff. Like, why was the Predator looking very primal? When they're an advanced, species that's fucking flying through, space and ships and has
Hmm.
camouflage and you know what I mean? Like why from the original Predator movie to this one, it's like I don't think there would have been such a big difference. You know what I mean? Like I understand like
Hmm.
they've gone through I know human civilizations have gone through hundreds of years, I think thousands of years. I forget what time period Ray is based off of 300 years ago.
1717.
So 300 years of advancement, but I'm sure predators have had a lot, you know what I mean? Like comparable to what 300 years is like and where we were at 300 years ago. Um, I don't think like when the predator in the original movie is walking around with those little three, you know, the fucking,
Lottery guns.
I'm gonna blow you up uh
Hmm.
target has like a fucking laser gun, but 300 years ago they were using like spears or bolts basically.
Hmm.
That was kind of my thing where I'm like they're highly advanced. They I, it doesn't make sense to me that they'd be using that type of weaponry. And the mask should have been like the original one, right? Like for a civilization that's been going around. Like, again, this is me nitpicking in the sense of like how realistic it is. Um,
I get you.
but that's it though. Other than that, I thought the story was great. Uh, the what's the word I'm looking for? The I guess the lesson that they're trying to show, I think was good too. The
Work
finale,
smarter, not harder.
yeah, the finale was fantastic. How they,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, the predator does not win. um I thought it was great how it happened, and the thing that I think I'm still kind of like um because I guess apparently at the end of the movie she hands her chieftain the gun. So I need to second look this, but apparently that gun was the same gun that was handed to Danny Glover's character at the end of Predator 2.
Too good. Yep. The same revolver belonging to Raphael Adolini.
Okay. So
Who dies like so good in
yeah.
this.
Um at the end of or the after credit scene or the whatever credit scene is basically like more ships coming down to see
Hmm.
them. So I'm guessing that's just the continuation, right? Like, hey, ships come, offer her I'm guessing a trophy, right? And then I don't know what happens, and then they go off, and then another predator comes down the road and fights Arnie, um, later on. So I don't think there will
Yeah.
be a sequel because it kind of just like seems to be like this is a prequel, and if you want to watch chronologically, you just start from the first Predator. There you go.
Hmm.
But I thought that was good. Um, the shield was fun. His shield was great, chopping
Yeah.
heads off and whatnot.
A lot of the tech that they
Yeah,
had was pretty fun too.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, like some of the tech that he had compared to like the Predator in the first movie, I'm just kind of like Like, eh, like I know 300 years, but like I like the look of it, right? It fits because it's 300 years in the past and whatnot. But it still bugs me that like this this creature, is from a far advanced civilization. They wouldn't be using primal weapons like that. They would have cannons and whatnot. You know,
Hmm.
um, I just
Perry, are you telling me you wanted the French monarchy to have iPhones?
no. I wanted the Predator to have an iPhone. The French monarchies,
Fuck the French.
fuck the French. Yeah, that's my only thing. But again, like I said, everything else about the movie I thought was great. I was highly entertained.
Good.
Um, yeah. Uh, that's my opinion. That's my review. And I'm sticking to it.
Alright, I like it. I fucking
Um,
like it.
do you have anything else for this movie, or
No,
you're
no, no, I'm good. We
okay?
can move on.
So,
Motherfucker, I'm kidding.
oh, okay. Okay.
Fucking.
What else how else do you feel
Okay.
about this movie?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Prey 2022 follows Naru as she attempts to gain respect as a powerful hunter in her tribe of the Comanche Nation in 1717 I said, or 17, it's around there, the early 18th century.
300 years ago.
Yeah. And in an attempt to prove that she is a respected hunter, she comes to blows with feral predator, as he is called in this. Um, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Old world tech against, another slightly older predator. I'm gonna say the one thing that truly disappointed me.
Mm-hmm.
This movie should have been in full fucking Comanche. Fucking props to
Yeah,
them
fair
for getting
enough.
like, I mean, so they did a thing that's done pretty often in film where it's like they explain the foreign language thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they'll be like, this foreign language is speaking, and it'll say something, and then it'll be like, okay, so we're going to transition into English because that's the predominant like language that's spoken and listened to in this region.
Right.
So we're going to say that for the viewer, they're speaking in English, but within the context of the story, they are speaking Comanche or whatever language you're making the movie about.
Yeah.
And that holds water because later in the movie, Naru gets captured by French foragers or
Yeah.
frontiersmen, and she can't understand them, and we can't understand them either. They speak French the whole time, and the subtitles are also in French,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was a fun little choice. Um, so this is also the first movie to feature a Comanche dub, as in, actors. I believe probably the same actors went back or those who could speak Comanche, or people who could speak Comanche went back, dubbed over the lines for other viewers who wanted to watch this movie with a Comanche dub. And that's super fucking cool. But if this movie was in all fucking Comanche, would have hit so fucking hard. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of the cast, which is actually kind of disappointing because everyone is really good in it. Amber Midthunder as Naru is great. She kind of, God, I feel like there's so much fucking bullshit around like what's going on with her character from like internet trolls.
Mm-hmm.
um, she gives a great fucking job. Like the there's one or two scenes where she's like John Wicking it up, but like the movie does a really good job at showing like the point of Predator. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I can't begin to tell you like how similar, like literally how similar Prey and Predator are. The whole point of Predator is that like you can have all of the biceps, all of the fucking abs, and all of that fucking tech and shit, but the Predator beats every single one of them,
Yeah.
hands down. And it's the ingenuity and it's like the tactics and it's the like the resourcefulness that beats the Predator. Like
Mhm.
Arnie doesn't beat him with his biceps. Like you could say, "Oh well, he needed his biceps to fold the bow, or he needed to do it to set the." No, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. He beats him. I mean, it's kind of stupid how he beats him, but like technically the Predator outsmarts him. But I'm not gonna fucking split hairs on it.
Right.
Arnie beats the Predator because he outsmarts and outhunts the Predator. Like that's the whole point. Like the the fucking director literally says, "You remember the scene when the governor of Nevada gets fucking killed, Jesse Ventura or whatever fucking governor, and they all start fucking shooting at nothing, and
Yes.
fucking Max starts fucking chain gunning it, right?"
Yes.
He literally talks about that scene being emasculating. Like he
Mhm.
literally talks about that scene meant like he spends the entire first 20 something minutes building these people up as stereotypical action characters. Like Arnie
Yeah.
gets the fucking one-liner. He gets stick
Mm.
around
Yep.
and like he lifts the fucking truck up, fucking wreck shit, right? Like
Yep.
these guys are badasses. And that moment is meant to be not the Hawkins moment necessarily.
Mhm.
That's kind of like the inciting bit. But like when Jesse Ventura is murked and they all just fucking unload in the forest and they don't hit anything. The director literally in the commentary says something to the effect of like this is supposed to be like metaphorically like emasculating. Like all
Mm.
of their strength and you can be like a fucking uh, a feminist critique of film and be like, guns are like a like imagery for a penis
Yeah.
or a phallic symbol. Like typically that's how it's seen. Like a gun is a symbol for like masculinity and violence and like authority and whatnot. Same
Yeah.
with the sword. So it's like the idea is that with all of their dicks, they couldn't fucking do it.
Right.
That's like, oh, fucking this fucking woke ass fucking director's trying to emasculate Arnie. Fucking woke. Cancel culture. Like, fuck, shut the fuck up. This movie does the exact same thing, but more enjoyable. She fucking actually outsmarts the Predator. Like,
Mhm.
it's so good. It's so good. Like, they show you how the tools work. Then she realizes how you can use the tool. Then she gets the tool and uses it against the predator. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. And it's solid filmmaking. The the trick with setup and payoff is you set something up, you remind the viewer at least once, and then you pay it off. Like, oh, beginning of the movie, let's do a little reminder midway through. Doesn't have to be like a wink wink nudge nudge, which I did not fucking think that this was, by the way. This was
Yeah.
handled really well. And then it fucking pays off. It pays off in a really fucking satisfying way because, like, pay
Mm.
attention. Not you, sorry. Me, focus.
Yes.
She fucking she goes on a hunt. She finds out that the predator is stalking fucking animals. And you
Yeah.
get the impression that this is like the predator's first time on the planet. And it's kind of hunting the apex predators. Goes through a snake, goes through a coyote, goes through a bear, and it finally comes across like Comanche warriors and starts hunting them too. And fucking, she's present when the three dot sight thing kills one of the people, and then she's present a second time when she realizes that the helmet homes in on the the helmet is the thing that causes the darts to track. And then she uses uh some compound, some like a mixture of flour and herb to lower her blood temperature, her just body core temperature, to take the helmet, and uses the helmet to fucking kill the predator. Like it's so good. Anyway,
Mhm.
fucking besides the point. Besides the fucking point. Um, everyone's good in it. Uh, I don't give a fuck. The cinematography is really fun. Um, most of the Predator movies tend to have like a very strict camera feel to them, right?
Yeah.
This one felt very free, definitely like I don't know, unconstrained.
Mhm.
Uh, there's definitely a really fun sense of suspense that like we haven't had since, in my opinion, since the first Predator.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
actually, how these characters understand what the Predator is and how it hunts, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just really floored with how impressed I am with what they did with this. Let's see. Okay, back on track. Whew. So let's talk about Farrell. Um, I personally just aesthetically don't like his look.
Mhm.
Um, it's just not for me. Conceptually, I love it. Like I love that they have decided to use like a different look for the Predator. And not just like, hey, let's reuse the same design for like 40 years
Mhm.
with a couple minor variations. I really like that. This Predator has like a slightly different shaped face, the same mandibles, the same kind of shape,
Yeah.
the same like recognizable things. But I really like that pretty much everything related to the Predator is artistically, I think, a little different. Like we're not following the exact same character or the exact same thing. It's like Predator, honestly, nowadays kind of, well, no, that's not fair. A comparison that I think kind of works is like The Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Like Boba Fett was really fucking cool, right? His armor fucking rocked.
Yeah.
Um, and then when you expanded the lore, you realize like his armor isn't fucking one of a kind, actually. Like he comes from a warrior society where they all have that fucking armor. And you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then you watch Predator and you're like, "Oh, that fucking Predator's armor is really fucking cool," right?
Mhm.
And then you watch Predator 2, you realize that there's a slight variation, but it's like, "Oh, they're basically the same like design, like the exact same. Like
Right.
there's nothing really different." Then you watch fucking Alien versus Predator, and the main fucking Predator is just a bulkier version of the fucking jungle predator from Predator 1. You're like, "Oh, so they all just look the same with like slightly different masks."
Yes.
That's cool. Like, I just when I think of like, oh, how are we going to do our sequel? I kind
Mhm.
of wanted the idea of like, why does this have to be taken as like set in stone? Why does this have to be taken as like the standard, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um, I really, really like the idea that the Predator has like lower tech. Um, I
Okay.
don't really care. Like the bone helmet's fine with the little jutting mouth thing. His face is fugly, but like it's fine because I like the variety. I like that not all the fucking predators look the same. That's what I liked about Predators, is that they actually introduced the idea of like in the movie they introduced the concept of like warring like species or
Mhm.
warring races of predator and different factions. Like, oh, there are different sizes or they're different like you know physiology or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can hear where you're coming from with like, oh, maybe, it's a little too low tech or like it's a little cringy. Um, I think it's kind of cool. I like the idea that like the predator just like killed this prey and kind of
Mhm.
retrofitted his skull with like his technology.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's pretty obvious though that like the Predator tech in this is actually still pretty impressive. Like it's not
Yeah.
plasma caster shit, but like it's not just homing whatever. It's like they're like he has a sword, he has a shield, he still has his like his fucking
Mandible, not
his
mandibles.
shredder net
Yeah.
and yeah, his camouflage. Like
Hmm.
it's clear that the camouflage too reflects to like ash and particulates that fuck it up.
Yeah.
Um and the little darts that he uses instead of the caster are like technologically advanced enough to be like homing darts. Like that shit is fun. I I understand where you're coming from. I can agree with that. As as an artistic choice or as an aesthetic choice, I don't like most of how he looks. I
Hmm.
like most of the concept, and I'm totally in agreement with them going in that direction though.
Hmm.
Because it offers more variety in a way that like other Predator movies didn't. Like they took liberties with how the Predator looked and how he hunted and what he did. Like they still did the whole, oh, you're not a threat, or like, it hunts this way because you're not the big game. But like they actually did different things with what the Predator did, how he acted. I thought I would like to see the actor do it again. Dane Deligrio.
Yeah.
I think he was a basketball player. He felt a little stiff. There's like one or two scenes where he's got like the shield and he's just kind of standing there, or like isn't quite really utilizing his movement. But most of the time, that's like one tiny little criticism. Most of the time, this fucker is so physical. Like anyone bitching about this movie is missing out on like some of the best Predator kills. Like there's a
Yes.
bit where one of the Comanche fucking warriors is like hand to hand combating the Predator, and I mean that in like the loosest possible way. Like this guy isn't standing a chance. He fucking the Predator takes his sword, I think, breaks it in half, and just like cross X's the guy's legs off, and
Yep.
then stabs him in midair into the tree. And I'm just like, okay, that's pretty fucking awesome.
Hmm.
That's pretty fucking cool. Um, I love that there's like just a montage of him just killing French trappers. Like
Yes.
so good. The French trappers have been fucking harassed by the predators, so they're using Naru as like bait to hunt down the predator, and they all get fucking wrecked in like the best way possible. It's so good. Um, I was really surprised with how not gory necessarily. Yeah, no, with how gory it was because Predator 1 wasn't necessarily all that gory. It was very
No.
implicitly gory.
Yeah.
Predator 2 had a bit more to it, but I felt like Predator 2 thought that the gore was what made the movie good, so they're like, "Ah, let's ramp it up more, ah."
Hmm.
And then, I don't know, feel like AVP, those movies just were not flattering to how, like, the Predator killed people. It just wasn't that impressive. Um, Predators, I mean, that one's my personal favorite, but like I still think it's stuck in that like PG-13y almost hunting. And then the Predator was just dog shit. Like
Hmm.
CGI kill everything bad. This felt very like tactile, like watching the Predator just like tomahawk a guy in the forehead or like throw someone across the room or just it all felt like very satisfying in terms of like action and splatterfest stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have anything fucking else. I was impressed. This is probably one of the you know what I think I'm nostalgic for Predator Z because
Hmm.
I watched it when I was in high school. I loved it. I still love it, but I
Hmm.
think that's more of like a sentimental love. I do think Prey is probably a far better no, not far better. I think it's a better Predator movie. I think it's a probably a better put together movie too.
Hmm.
Um I would probably put it like second best next to Predator,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. I think I can second that myself.
Fuck yeah. What else did I want to add? Oh, yeah, and then Raphael Adolini. Hold on. I fucking love that shit. Hold on. So I just have to talk about it. I love it. Um, you find out, which I think is a really cool new way to talk about like how to avoid the predator's like heat vision.
Mhm.
Um, Naru finds out that she can beat the predator. No, no, no. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Back up.
Mhm.
Throughout the beginning of the movie, it's established that uh, there is a concoction of like herbs and whatnot that Naru will give someone who's injured to ease their pain. It's like a narcotic, not a narcotic. It just lowers your body core temperature and prevents like you from bleeding out. She uses this on like one or two people in the beginning of the movie. Um, and she technically kind of doesn't want to do this because it's considered like a feminine quality. Her mother is the one making the herbs and whatnot, and she only uses the herbs because her mother has her go out and do it, but she wants to go out and hunt, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so she has this little concoction. She gets captured by the French fuckheads, and some Italian dickhead who can speak Comanche is like, "Hey, we need your help. Can you please help us?" So she's just like, "No, fuck you."
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
French get their fucking shit pushed in. Naru escapes, gets back to the camp, and finds the Italian dude missing a fucking leg, and and he's like, "I'll fucking teach you how to use this flintlock pistol if you help me like not die." So she gives him the herb, and the predator comes in, starts doing his fucking predator thing. The guy, the Italian guy, Raphael Adolini, like flops on the ground. Like the speed at which this man like shat his pants and pretended to be dead at the same time is astounding. But like he's laying there, right? And
Mhm.
Naru's hiding behind a tree and it's like watching the predator. And the predator doesn't notice the body or at Raphael Adolini. Um, because she assumes correctly that the herb mixture has lowered his core temperature and he can't be seen because of that. Fucking the predator hears something and walks in that direction, but while doing that, walks on Raphael Adolini and like walks on his stump leg. Adolini screams and then like the predator just like flinches and like stabs him in the ground. It's so fucking good.
That was
I
good.
can't get over how much I fucking love that shit. Anyway, I really love that they introduced a new way of hiding from the predator or to like fuck with the predator. The whole mud thing is fun, but like they did it with predators in a very uninteresting or like non-innovative kind of way. And I really like that. Like all things said and done, like she beats the predator with her femininity and like oh god, I don't know. It just reminds me of Mulan, right? Where it's like at the end of Mulan, the cartoon, she has the fan, the symbol of her femininity, right? And it's not like
Right.
she's standing there as a dude. She embraces her femininity. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that's as far as they were going, but it's like it's pretty clear that like the herb making narcotic sedative blood core temperature thing is considered like or is established as like a feminine trait within the movie, and it's something that like she
Mhm.
uses but doesn't like really embrace, and then fucking uses the shit out of it to help kill the predator, and I love that. Like
Yeah.
it's like no, I don't need to be a guy to do this. I can be me. I can be Naru and fucking outsmart the fuck out of this dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So overall,
Oh,
good movie, recommended.
I can't wait for the new Predators to be like, "Oh, fuck, they killed Fred. We gotta fucking wreck him." And then they send, like, the other Predators, and they fucking nuke him.
Yeah, right. Um, so there's a movie that I saw without you, and I'm sorry,
Here, you fuck buddy, you're fine, don't even
but
trip.
it was a solid movie. So much fun.
Tell me
I
about it.
saw Bullet Train. Um, it follows the main actor Brad Pitt, um, on a job and on a bullet train in Japan. Um, and so it's basically for some reason there's just a bunch of assassins in that train with him. Um, and yeah, chaos ensues. Um, highly entertaining, highly recommended. Obviously, I did research afterwards. Uh, I saw that, and we're talking before the podcast. David Litch directed it, which he
David
also
the Lich.
yeah he also directed the first John Wick, Atomic Blonde, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, and Deadpool 2. Which John Wick is definitely I don't would I say my favorite movie of that decade of
Uh-huh.
2010 to 2020. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe. It's definitely up there.
Do it.
I feel like it
Do it.
might
Do it.
be. John Wick was I would have to see the list of movies that came out those 10 years. But nonetheless, he did direct that movie. I really love that movie. I thought Deadpool 2 was really entertaining as well. Have not
Mhm.
seen Atomic Blonde or Hobbs and Shaw. Um
Fun and okay.
mm,
Fine, I mean.
no. So but yes, it the main character is obviously Brad Pitt. It has Aaron Taylor Johnson in it, Brian Tyree Henry, an actor I've not really heard of called Joey King playing in there, and a
Rising
few
star. She's been around for years.
yeah, and then a lot of cameos which were spicy. I was like, wow, I did not. This is great. This is fun. A lot of spicy cameos that I was very intrigued about. Um, and yeah, I really enjoyed the entire plot. And the lore of like all the assassins, which I guess spoiler alert, but they kind of go do like a background of the assassins.
Mhm.
So but yeah, I love everyone's character, and I Brad Pitt being Brad Pitt, fucking fantastic job. He killed it. I love his character, dude. So good. Um,
You have to give this a check out.
yeah, dude. And I'll say, only paying $5 a ticket to see watch this movie. This was a full price movie. I'll say this was a full price movie. Um, and I highly recommend it. I think you would
Okay.
enjoy it. Again, all the main characters that were involved did a great job. I and again the cameos. I'm probably spoiling it, but the cameos were good. The cameos
I'm gonna keep
really
a fucking
fucking nailed
eye
it
out
for me.
for
Yeah, I mean,
it. Alright, I'll have to give
like
it a look.
like the Sandra Bullock cameo is not really like
Obvious.
it's really obvious, but still really good. Because yeah, yeah, that's about it. Again, I'm a man of little words, no words. I don't know. I don't know how the saying goes, but I don't talk a lot. Anyways, going from Bullet Train over to movies we haven't seen I was gonna quote Lord of the Rings. Anyways, movies that haven't come out
What are
yet.
we waiting for?
Yeah. Um, which one did you want to talk about first?
All
We had
right, let me
three. We had
mention it.
three on the list.
We got uh, we got Day Shift with Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, and Dave Franco, who play a group of employed W-2 laborers who are paid to hunt and kill vampires in the day.
Mm,
Who is also producing this movie, you ask? Why the same guy we were just talking about? I think David Licht, or one of the other fucking dudes who did John Wick. I don't fucking know. Anyway,
mm,
yeah, that one's interesting. Looking forward to seeing that. But what I was going to talk about were three movies that are coming out that I'm interested in. There are more. God forbid there's probably one or two more that I'm more excited about. But these are three that I think at the moment I really kind of just want to see for some reason. They
yeah.
just look fun. Um, so the first one is The Invitation. Uh,
Okay.
the Invitation stars Game of Thrones actress Natalie Emmanuel,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know
That's why she looked
fucking
familiar.
right. She was
Yeah.
Miss Sunday,
Yep.
and I don't know any of the other actors, but the synopsis is too long. Basically, a woman finds out that she has a long lost relative who's sketchy as fuck and finds this out after she's invited to a wedding somewhere in England. I don't know how vampires are going to be in that, but vampires are in it. I don't know. I'm just in a vampire mood lately. Just
Yep.
good vampire movies are so fucking fun.
Nothing wrong with that.
Um,
Yeah.
the trailer looks fun. It feels kind of like what's the it didn't do too well, but it was a really fun movie. Hide and Seek. But the woman,
Okay.
she draws the cards, hide and seek, and the bunch of fucking
Yeah.
aristocrats hunt her down. It has that kind of a vibe, like a small, contained, mansiony kind of feel with a bunch of fucking psychos hunting someone down. So that looks
Mm-hmm.
fun. The second one's The Menu. The Menu has a
Yes.
bunch of fucking people in it. Ray Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Holt, oh man,
Yeah.
John Leguizamo, a bunch of other people in it. Um,
I see that.
let's see. The premise to this one is smaller. A young couple, Margot and Tyler, travel to a remote island to eat at Hawthorne, an exclusive restaurant run by celebrity chef Slowick. Celebrity chef Slowick, who has prepared a lavish molecular gastronomy menu where food is treated as conceptual art, but his but his approach to cuisine has some shocking surprises for the wealthy guests. So the trailer looks bonkers. I have no
Yeah.
idea what it's about, but it seems like there's going to be some kind of like killing, hunting,
Yeah.
killing people for art kind of vibe to it. So that looks fun. Um, uh, I'm mentioning most of these movies just because, with the exception of Day Shift, which is like a Netflix movie, the other ones seem to be just full productions that aren't part of a franchise that are just, kind of fun looking.
Mm,
And the final one is actually already out. The other movies have not come out yet. Day Shift, I think, comes out as of talking right now.
mm-hmm.
Comes out tomorrow, August 12th. Um, the Menu, let's see. That one comes out in September. Oh my Jesus, it comes out in November. God damn it.
Fine. It's fine.
And then the Invitation comes out in about 2 weeks. But the final one comes out now because it's out already. Ba ba ba. Bad word salad. Bodies, bodies, bodies. Um, I'll forgive anyone if they don't really know anything about it, but or have never even heard of it. But it has had a couple trailers out, at least on the internet, and it's kind of been like advertised as like a slasher. But I keep reading reviews that say that the slasher title doesn't quite explain this movie. They say that it's more of like a whodunit black comedy,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me honestly more interested. I know nothing about it yet at the moment, but from like the 3 seconds of like the 5 separate instances of watching the trailer, it looks very fun. It seems to be about a bunch of Gen Zers trying to find out fucking who killed who. Um, so yeah, really interested in seeing where that goes and how that happens. And yeah, those are my recommendations.
All right. Yeah, I've seen the trailer for Bodies, 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 and yeah, it seemed more of like a whodunit, just with
Okay.
modern, just modern.
Yeah, with modern. I like it.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, that's it for me. Nothing particularly more to go about.
yeah, I'm. I think that was our list. The only other stuff I
Okay.
had to talk about is this is month old, but or did I bring it up already? I don't remember. Did we talk about the Webb telescope?
What?
The the telescope that got launched into space and sees further into deep space than anything we've ever done before as a human species?
What is this sorcerer? No,
Yeah.
tell me, please.
Okay, so the full name, let's see, Webb telescope. So it's just the Webb telescope. James Webb telescope. Um basically, the Hubble telescope, right?
Vaguely.
Okay. Hubble telescope is this telescope that is orbiting our planet and takes pictures of things in outer space. So there's not like, when we look out into space, from Earth, there's like, what's there's a correct word for it, but there's just things in the way, right? Atmosphere, um, clouds sometimes, just,
Particulates, junk that we've probably put up to.
yeah, exactly. So it's just harder to look into outer space from the Earth. So we obviously sent a telescope, the Hubble telescope, out into space to take pictures of things that and it has taken magnificent pictures for us over the decades. But it can only do so much from where it is. Um, so they've been working on this telescope for I don't know the length of when they started, but basically they sent it even further into space. I think I'm trying to remember if it's past the moon or halfway to the moon. Um
Send it all the way, motherfucker.
Location in space. Let's see. Um it is, so the moon is 384,000 kilometers from Earth, right? And the Hubble telescope is only 570 kilometers from the Earth. Uh, James Webb telescope is 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, so it
Oh wow.
is way out there, and so it's taking pictures of things that we never thought. Like, there's just things that obviously scientists are like, you know, orgasming about. Um, and I think that's really fucking cool. There's like
Fuck
before and after pictures, basically compare pictures compared, like pictures that were taken by the Hubble telescope, which is really close to Earth, compared to the Webb telescope, and it's just night and day. Like, and obviously the Hubble telescope is, I guess, in technology terms, like ancient, you know, and the Hubble telescope is like brand spanking new with things that as common folk will never have access to. So it's like, it's just really nice to have something out there that can like take we can
Get a
observe.
better, clearer view of what we've got.
Yeah. I think it's really fucking cool. I didn't bring that up before. I think we just ran out of time or something. The
That's
other
cool.
the other thing is in Magic the Gathering, they're
Ooh.
bringing back This has only been done once before, and they actually did it for the first printings of the original Zendikar set. These things are called priceless treasures. Um, what these priceless treasures are, um, basically, Wizard of the Coast. They just have like a palette or pallets of boxes of old sets that are basically like they don't print anymore. They don't make
Mhm.
those cards anymore, right? It's just like, but Wizard of the Coast, being the makers of them, probably just have them sitting in a the basement somewhere. Like, oh yeah, let's just put them here, and like we'll play with them later, and just forget about them. And then decade later, like, oh hey, you remember these boxes? Oh yeah, what should we do with them? I'm sure they like crack them open and draft or whatever, but for Zendikar and for I think the set that's coming out soon, I think Dominaria United, they're
What?
releasing priceless treasures. Yeah. And basically, I think it's one in every case or something like that. You have a chance to get a pack or a card, not a pack, sorry, a card from an old set. And I think the old set is, let's see,
Here, look at the
Dominaria
my box.
United. Yeah. Uh, priceless treasures. Um. So a lot of people. So the original priceless treasure for Zendikar actually had like original uh like I think alpha or beta cards.
Ooh.
So you had a chance to pick up a fucking Black Lotus if you got really lucky. I don't know if anybody actually picked it up. It might still be in a Zendikar pack somewhere out there in the world. Um,
Well, it's got your name on it.
yeah, and yeah, so I thought that was really cool that they're doing that. But it's for a specific set. It's not original alpha beta. It's an old set though for sure. Oh, I believe it was Antiquities, which is like one of the first sets after the original alpha beta sets. Or Legends. No, Legends, sorry. Legends. It's Legends. And yeah, uh that's and some of those cards are really expensive. As I'm sure you have an idea of that. Um and I thought it was just a really cool topic that like, it's uh, um these like I think the original Zendikar sold very well because of that. Um like there's a chance it's going to be not really well priced card to a very well priced card.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so I just thought I should bring that up because I thought it was really cool. I'm not gonna buy boxes of these sets. But I'm sure a lot of
Harry,
people will.
I don't know. When I find out when your birthday is, you better fucking watch it, pal.
Yeah. But that's about it for me, man. Those are my topics. That's all I
Yeah,
had.
dude. Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, so what? We calling it?
Fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, fuck it, me too.
Right. So, outro.
Fuck yeah, folks.
All right. Have a good night.
Folks, we hope you have a wonderful fucking time listening to us. We have a
Mhm.
wonderful time not listening to you because listen to us, and you can listen to us at YouTube by searching Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark.
Mhm.
You can also tell us how much you love listening to us by emailing us at hittingthemark2020 at gmail.com.
Mhm.
And you can listen via text.
Wha-
See what I did
Yeah.
as to how much we like to talk about the stuff that we know everything about at
Mhm.
Twitter at capital H, capital T, capital M underscore podcast. Once again, HTM underscore podcast. Folks, Jokes aside, love doing this.
Yep.
Love chatting. We love when you like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And have a wonderful night.
Bye bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.